Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Doug with Life is Shirty. It's been a while since I've checked in with anything on YouTube. It's been a while since I gave an update with the Instagram. It's been almost a year, another week or so, it'll be a year since my How to Sell Clothes on Instagram video part 1. I guess this is part 2. I just wanted to check in with you guys and give you an update on how things have going. I'll be the first to admit I have not applied myself when it comes to Instagram and posting every day and pushing it as hard as I should be. So it's kind of lacking in what maybe a more active Instagrammer would be. So I'll just tell you, since my last video, I've picked up 963 followers. I have posted 255 times since that time, which is not enough. Which is not enough at all if you're really trying to push Instagram to get followers and to get a good solid following and people that are interested in what you're doing. I will give you my first video. I told you what I knew and what I'd learned. Well, I've learned so much more since then. So I'm just going to kind of go over what I've learned since then. So this is like a follow-up. Starting at the top, just a little tip, your ID, my ID is Life is Shirty. And so when people are looking at your profile, they see it come up. Right here where it says men's handpicked fashion, a lot of people put their ID there a second time. So you put men's handpicked fashion there, and people know what your Instagram is about, and it's kind of like a brief description. So I would do that. So next you can see I have at Vintage Tea Time right there. That is another Instagram that I have just started, and I just started pushing. All of my vintage t-shirts are going to Vintage Tea Time. I've opened an Etsy shop for it as well. I really have grown a passion during this resale journey for vintage t-shirts, and I'm going to be pushing that very hard. I hope to really increase my inventory when it comes to vintage t-shirts. And sorry, you may see me doing this on the screen a little bit because my phone keeps trying to go to sleep on my screen, so I apologize. So since my last video, www.lifeisshirty.com has been canned, and it's probably been canned for good. If I do use that domain again, it might be for a blog or something. But Instagram is kind of like a blog in itself, really. You can post pictures and tell stories underneath it. So I doubt I'll ever have a lifeisshirty.com again. But what I might have in the future is a vintageteatime.com. So, but that is way in the future. Just an update there. You can see my link to my eBay here is shortened. The reason I did this, there's a website called Bitly, bitly.com. What it is, it's a service, and it's a free service. You put your URL to your eBay store in there, and it shortens it. It gives you this real short link, so you don't have this big long link in your profile. But also what Bitly allows you to do is to track the traffic. So once I shorten it and I get this link, it gives me stats on this particular link, like who accesses it, how many people access it, and where from. So it's really cool to see that information come through as well. I've started using Facebook with my Instagram, so when I post to Instagram, everything automatically goes to Facebook. Facebook works the same way with the hashtags and everything. So, to each is their own. Do you like Instagram? Do you like Facebook? There are some people that are going to like Facebook more than Instagram, and they're going to interact on Facebook more. It's harder to get followers on Facebook, but I am still posting it. I'm just going to post to Facebook like I do Instagram because it does the same thing. I'm going to post to it like there's a million people watching. You got to do that to get content and to get to people to follow you. My last video, I mentioned how hashtags worked. And I also mentioned, and I'm kind of reneging on this now, I mentioned not using hashtags that reach out to other sellers. Well, I am completely for using hashtags that reach out to other sellers as well, because most of the sales I've done on Instagram, and I've really only done about 9 or 10 on Instagram, 9 or 10 sales. I'd say probably 7 of those came from other sellers or other collectors that have Instagrams where they are selling, buying, and trading vintage and sports apparel, stuff like that. So reach out to other sellers. And another thing other sellers can do for each other is, if you follow them, what you can do is just like their photos when they post stuff. And so if you remember, I talked about using hashtags. Here, we'll just pull this one up. So all the hashtags I use here, this isn't to sell, this is more of a motivational and informative post that I did. But you see here, I go down to thrift shop, and the top 9 pictures are the top pictures with the most likes with that hashtag. So 1,503 likes on this picture. This guy or this person is using the hashtag thrift shop. And so because he got so many likes, his photo has trended to the very top. And so everybody that searches that hashtag is going to see his picture first. That's another way to grow your product and to grow your profile, if you get an item that trends. So that's how other sellers can help each other. I scroll through and I like all the sellers' photos, and a lot of them do the same for me as well. So it's kind of a networking thing. You kind of help each other out in that sense. So also, of course, reach out to other sellers, but also whatever product you are posting. For instance, this Georgetown Hoyas vintage sweatshirt that I have here, reach out to other eBay, eBay Life, eBay Seller. You see all those hashtags I have there. But I'm also hashtagging Georgetown Hoyas, basketball, NCAA. Reach out to specific, do specific hashtags related to the product you're posting. Like if I'm Diamond Supply here, so of course I hashtag the brand Diamond Supply. So that's how you use hashtags when trying to reach your customer base on people who might be interested in the product. So reach out to the other sellers. I know I said not to on the last one, but I'm all for it now. And another thing, search your own hashtags. So for instance, I'm actually going to go to my vintage tea time page here, because this was a good one that I did. So here's my vintage tea time Instagram. I just started about a month ago. I've got 118 followers in a month. That's a decent number. I hope that keeps growing, continues to grow. But for instance, when I say search your hashtags, and I'm going to show you something else on this one here. This is a Purdue Boilermakers vintage t-shirt from the 70s that I found. So you see down here, I did Purdue University, Purdue Boilermakers, and Purdue's in Indiana, so I did Indiana. See all the other hashtags I use. I'm reaching out to Etsy people here because this is pushing my Etsy store. But here's another thing and a little trick. So I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, but this is for people who support Purdue University. So I went in and I tagged a location. You can tag a location on every post that you make. And on this one I tagged Purdue University. If you see it right underneath my ID, it says Purdue University. So when I tap on Purdue University, you can search photos people have tagged themselves at the same place. So you see what that does. So anybody that searches that location, they probably saw this, and maybe I got a couple likes from it or not, I don't know. Never got any inquiries about a sale, but still it's a good idea. So if you have a shirt or an item that has a specific city or state on it, tag that city or state in the location area. Just another tip for you. I got my notes here. So, oh, also, yeah, so Buffalo Sabres. Also, with the hashtags, search your own hashtags. So I'm Buffalo Sabres. I'm going to search Buffalo Sabres hashtag right here, and I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to start double tapping. These are photos from people who like the Buffalo Sabres, you know. So they may see that I like their photo and go, "Oh, who is this person? Life is Shirty liking my photo." And then they will look at my photo and hopefully they'll see the Buffalo Sabres stuff I have and be interested in it. That's just an idea I've come up with. I've gotten a couple followers from this idea, a couple likes on certain items that I've done this for. So sometimes you can tell the people who are just, normal people enjoying the games and they're fans, and you can tell the profiles that are also reselling or maybe be affiliated with the Buffalo Sabres. So pick and choose, who you double tap if you'd like. But I'm just doing it to everybody just as an example, just to show you. So that's another idea. Search your own hashtags after you post an item, and then reach out to the people who have used those same hashtags, like their photos, try to attract them to your Instagram page. Let's see, what else do I have written down here? Yeah, I wrote down notes. I usually just freestyle this stuff, but I don't want to be all over the place. So I'm going to try to be kind of organized here. Just to show you how I've done some listings now. I've done it a little bit differently than before. You see, I do the description, Buffalo Sabres Logo 7 shirt, jersey or jersey shirt. I probably should have said that. Whatever, doesn't matter. Size XL, I gave them the price, shipped. I offer free shipping to anybody that reaches out to me and wants to buy product through Instagram, because that's all you'll pay for. You'll pay for shipping, and I think it's 2.9% of the sale for the PayPal transaction, but no eBay fees or anything like that. So I offer free shipping to anybody who reaches out to me through Instagram. But as you see, I put the description. I've also tagged my Life is Shirty, tagged my Vintage Tea Time, to try to bring them to my other Instagram if possible. And then I've put like underscores here all the way across to separate the hashtags. Makes it easier for them to read the description, in my opinion, because a lot of people, they jumble it all up together, this description, and then right after that, it's nothing but the hashtags. And so I'm trying something a little different. I think it looks a little cleaner. That's just an idea. There is a limit to the number of hashtags that you can use. So I've done it before where I've put too many hashtags in and I hit upload and everything disappears. Like my description, hashtags, and everything disappears, and I had to redo it again. So now, just in case, I copy everything to my clipboard before I upload it, so I'll still have it. But I've made that mistake, so I usually try to keep it around 15, 16, 17 hashtags. I think 20 may be where it starts to get a little wonky on you and you start to lose your description and hashtags, but I'm not definite on that. So use a lot, but don't use too many. Another tip I got for you is interact with other sellers, because for this, like, it's fun interacting with other sellers doing the same thing you're doing, for one, but two, they have customers as well. They have people that love their product and are following them that aren't following you. So if they may see you comment on something and interacting with the person they're following, they may check you out and follow you as well. So I've had that happen a couple times. Somebody has messaged me and said, "Hey, I saw you comment on this, and this, and hey, how much for this item?" Something like that, And so that has worked. I try to interact with as many people as I can. I mean, don't go spam other sellers, like just put smiley faces or a thumbs up when they post a picture. I mean, have something genuine to say. Like, have something, like, if you think something's funny or cool or something reminds you of something, tell that story on their page and just interact with them. I get so many comments where people just put like a flame or a thumbs up or a hand clap or a smiley face just to spam my pictures. Well, here, we'll see. I got 2 comments here on this one. Look, looks dope, gorgeous, love it. I mean, that's nice, but those are definitely spam comments. Just something simple. It's not really interacting in my mind. So be genuine, interact with people, and you might gain some other followers that way. And I did something, I messed up, and I spam followed a lot of people just to try to get followers. And it worked, but what you end up with is a bunch of people who are not genuine and who are not interested in your product. They're really just following you because you follow them. You know, you've heard the whole follow for follow thing. I don't want that. I only want people to follow me if they're genuine and they really enjoy the product that I'm posting to Instagram and they really enjoy my content. That's the only type of people I want following me, and the only type of people I want to follow from here on in the future are people that inspire me, people that are doing the same thing that I am, very similar to me. That's the type of people I want to follow. So follow people that inspire you, and then in turn try to inspire your followers. As you've seen my last few posts here, I've posted a picture of a receipt where I spent $14.12 for 12 items. My last 7 days sales on eBay, an auction that went a lot better than I thought it would, because I'm trying to inspire the people because other people have inspired me. So people see this and they get inspired because I know it works for me. You will lose followers, so you'll have people follow you, and then maybe 10 minutes later you'll go back and you've seen that you've lost 2 or 3 followers. Don't get discouraged, because those people that are removing you were only adding you to see if you will add them back. There are a lot of bots out there that run people's accounts and go out and spam follow people just to get followed back, just like I was talking about a minute ago. So don't get discouraged if you're losing followers, because those aren't real people. Those aren't real, genuine people who are enjoying your product. So don't get discouraged. You will get those people that really enjoy what you're doing, and that's what matters. So I wouldn't even really pay attention to the followers. It's kind of like watchers on eBay. How many watchers are on your item? It doesn't really matter. If somebody likes your product, they're gonna buy it. Same thing with Instagram. If somebody likes your content and they like your Instagram profile, they're gonna follow it, they're gonna interact with you, they're gonna like photos when you post them. So don't get discouraged if you're losing followers. So also in my first video, I talked about Life is Shirty not really posting things outside of your product. Well, Life is Shirty has kind of turned into a jack of all trades. Not necessarily a personal profile, personal Instagram, but kind of like my resale adventure page, like what I go through on a daily basis reselling. I'll post bolos when I get them. I'll update you on my sales. I'll tell stories about how I hit a sale and spent very little money, and I'll say, hey, I'm at this place during my lunch hour thrifting, and I'll say, oh, hey, this is what I'm going through today, not doing clothing stuff. And I'll post stuff like that, but I'll also post product, and I'll have some fun on here. So this is kind of like a jack of all trades profile now, just to interact with other sellers and customers as well. The Vintage Tea Time page or profile that I told you about is the one where I'm only going to be posting product. I'm really going to be pushing myself as a vintage t-shirt seller. I've only got about 50 items in my Etsy store right now, but I can put about 200 to 250 in there. I'm slowly working towards that, and I hope to really expand my vintage inventory. So that is going to be the page that I'm really going to be pushing just product on. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, so in the first video I also talked about PicStitch for making my collages. I am still using PicStitch. These I didn't, but most of the time I used PicStitch to post this, and I used PicStitch to post this. I also have a different lighting setup and camera and picture taking area at the house too. So that's why you see the white background. So I use PicStitch to post all of these. You only got one picture you can post at a time. So I try to do a collage and show front and back and maybe some close-up detail, maybe the tag or graphics or something like that. So also you can spend money on PicStitch to open up different types of collages. And here's just a little inside tip here. If you're an Android or Google user, go to the Google Play Store and download the app Google Rewards. What Google Rewards does is it sends you surveys, and you answer these surveys. They take like 10 or 15 seconds to answer, and they give you free Google Play money for doing this. And I was able to open up more collages for 99 cents just from using the Google Play money. I think I'm up to like $11 now. But that's just another tip. I don't know if you can do that with Android or not. I mean with iOS. You definitely can with Android because that's what I'm using. But that is just another inside tip for you. So that is an update from the last time. I hope you enjoyed the update, maybe learned a little bit more about how to reach out to people, how to reach out to followers, get followers possibly, and interact with other sellers. So you see here, I'm just going to go through, this is what I was talking about. I'm helping these people out. And I got a like earlier, a couple likes, so other people go out and like my stuff. So that's the thing, you want to build a following to where you might trend. You might start trending on certain items. And so that's why you reach out to other sellers. But I hope you learned a little bit more from my first video. If you haven't watched my first video, you can go watch it if you want to. If you're a novice at Instagram, it basically talks about from the ground up how to use Instagram and how I go about trying to advertise and sell items on Instagram. If this is your first time watching my channel, I appreciate you tuning in. I'm a part-time seller. I do not do this full-time. I do this part-time. I have a job from 8:30 to 5 that I go to every day. It is a wonderful job and I love it. So that's all I've got today. So comment, like, and subscribe. Hey, also put in the comments how often would you like to see an Instagram update? I think once a week or once every 2 weeks, of course, is way too soon for Instagram updates. But maybe once a month, maybe once every 3 months. How often would you like to see how my Instagram journey is going? And tell me about your Instagram. Go out and follow me if you'd like. I've had several people follow me and interact with me on Instagram from watching my first video or just any of my YouTube videos. So I really appreciate that. But like I said, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll check in with you guys pretty soon. Take care.